Gentlemen, you're not supposed to be here.
This is a close course.
Let's just roll it, Evan.
But you're gonna have a great time, bro.
Yeah,
I'm excited for you, man.
bro. It's so shit. I was looking
Biggest
forward
night of the
to
year.
it. Gonna go to the fight, have a little boys' weekend. Because that fight was crazy. DJ's was crazy in Florida because we were like at the fight and we're all tired. And Liam literally before is like, he's filming it, and after the second round, or no, right? Because Vitor caught him with a knee, I think, before DJ knocked him out. I think he got him with a knee,
it was like right before.
Yeah.
And Liam's filming it because he's like, I gotta get
crazy
it.
flying knee.
Yeah.
We're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta film it just in case he gets the win. We've got it on camera. There's a minute left, and Liam had been filming like the whole trip, and like, but we posted the pins, and he puts his phone down after, and he's like, "Fuck, man! Like, I just wasted all that time, all this video. We're gonna make a shit video. We can't post anything because he lost." And then 5 seconds later,
throws that
drops
Hail
him.
Mary,
Yeah.
fucking put him in a body bag. That shit was unbelievable.
So you think he'll beat the next guy?
I think he'll kill him, bro.
Why?
I mean, that Petrino kid was the real deal. And he
Really?
was big and fucking...
That
guy was big.
This kid is a little older. He's not big like that. Like, bro, when that guy stepped in the cage, I was like, fuck, glad I'm not fighting that
He
dude.
looks like a freak,
I
man.
was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
He's going heavyweight this next fight.
Yeah.
He's going to be like 250, I bet.
Oh, Vitor is?
Yeah.
Sweet.
But it's like black guys. Like they look like they're just ripped and
That
strong.
motherfucker, bro, when he
Yeah.
fought Anthony, right? Because Anthony fought him before Dustin. They were like announcing him and showing him. Bro, I was like, this guy looks like someone who's about to take over like Metropolis or some shit. He looks like a straight up movie villain, bro.
He does.
I was like,
He
get this
does.
guy the fuck out of here.
Scary look.
He walked in. I was like, I gotta look somewhere else. Dustin's gonna see my nervousness. I was like, oh, fuck.
That guy was
Yes.
huge.
Yeah, he's a monster. He's got a tough fight coming up too. Like he went up to heavyweight, but he's fighting like a really good kickboxer.
Yeah.
Like
But isn't this guy a grappler?
that he's fighting next.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he's not like a great wrestler. He's just kind of like a grinder. And he's only had one fight in the UFC. So anytime that like Dustin's such a gamer and he's had so many fights at the highest level that if you put him against someone with like very little experience, I'm like, it just get to him.
Really?
Like Dustin's experience.
Did the odds yet on him?
I don't know if he's an underdog though. I'm gonna hammer
That's what I'm
that.
wondering.
I haven't seen any odds yet, but
I bet it'll be
hammer.
close.
feel like
It'll probably be
close.
like a pick 'em or
Yeah.
maybe Dustin will
Dustin will be the eternal underdog from now on.
Yeah.
What's his who does is this? I mean, it's good for Dustin if he wins. What's next for him if he wins that?
probably
fight?
a top 15. Like
Really?
get back in the top 15. Yeah. It's kind of get because he was on a little bit of a losing streak,
Yeah.
and so 2 in a row put him back at like
Yeah.
fighting for 13, 14. I want him to fight that dude, that Bogdan kid, the kid who looks like Anthony Smith.
Oh, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, he's ranked like 12, I think.
Yeah.
That would be a good fight for Dustin.
Yeah.
I think he would crush that kid too.
Yeah.
But you know, he wants to get busy with it. He only probably has 5-6 more fights.
That's crazy.
Don't ask him. He's like, I'll fight forever. Fuck that, dude. He's
Fucking-
already fought longer than I want to fight. He's 37. He'll be 37 next month. I'm like,
Fucking box of rocks upstairs for him. I always tell him, bro. He says yesterday, he was like, "Hey, good shit. We were live last night," and Liam's like, "Yeah, next Tuesday if you want to come." He's like, "I'm in that bitch," and Liam said, "Not sure what we'll do. Maybe eating or drinking challenge." And Dustin says, "Love it." I said, "Can you do that this close to the fight?" He's like, "I'll make an exception."
He's in
he don't give a fuck, bro. He's also, I told him, I was like, bro, if you weren't one of my good friends, I'd fucking hate your ass, bro. He's like one of that guy who just like shows up. He's good at everything. Get the fuck away from me, bro.
He is a good golfer, actually.
He is good.
He's just good at everything, bro.
Yeah.
We literally we were at this Airbnb for my fight. We just make up this game. We're like throw a rock.
Was that where you stayed at that one dude's house, that
Yeah,
country
it was
guy's
sick.
manager or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
So badass. Like
Yeah.
I hope I only fight in Vegas
Yeah.
and stay with that guy.
Yeah.
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we like made up some game like throw a rock closest to like a cup or something. Just some made up shit. Dustin beats all our ass. I'm like, this isn't a real fucking game.
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
That sounds like some degeneracy.
We should just keep it rolling.
Yeah, I think.
Just-
Are you recording?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess
So
we're going.
there's some good conversation in there.
Well, yeah.
we'll just
That's
keep
all
it
it's
going.
all about.
Exactly.
But we got Cody Brundage on the pod today, coming off of a big win. Congrats, by the way. I didn't even tell you congrats
Yeah,
on that win.
appreciate
That was
you, by the way.
sick.
Yeah.
That was crazy. I did bet on Cody.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I can't wait to watch the fight. And then I texted you or someone texted me like, bro, did
Yeah.
you see Cody's
I
fight?
think
It was
I
like
texted
It was like
you.
4:30 or 5. I'm
Yeah,
like, that was an
super
early
early.
fight.
Sometimes those
Right.
Apex fights are like crazy early. In the
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what? I was going to put my kids to bed, watch the fight, and all of a sudden it's over. I had to go back and watch it. Bro, you dogged your way. I mean, that was a dog fight for both of you.
Yeah.
But, like, you were, like, I was like, oh, shit.
Was it
Because I
calf kicks,
rewatched
or-
it. A lot of calf kicks.
Yeah.
We'll get
I
to
needed
guy.
more calf kicks.
We'll get to the calf kicks. I'll critique the fight. I've got some thoughts. But no, it was like you guys were going at it, and then they had a stoppage for both your mouth guards fell out.
Yeah, I didn't even know his mouth guard was out. So
Yeah.
when they asked me about it afterwards, like, both your mouth guards came out. I was like, I had no clue that I knocked his mouth guard out. I
Really?
knew my shit was out. I was like, fuck, man, my parents are going to be pissed. My teeth, my parents put me in braces when I was a kid. They were mad.
Yeah. Yeah. But then it was like, man, I thought he had you in the fight, and then it just, I don't know what it was, man. It's like there was like an aura that came over you, and you just dogged it out.
No, this is going to
Got
sound
that
bad. Like,
guy.
I know Julian pretty well. We trained together for a long
Yeah.
time. And I remember thinking, like, when he knocked my mouthpiece out and I was a little rocked, I was like, dude, there's no way I'm about to fucking lose to this dude.
Really?
Maybe like some other people I would have lost. But him, I was like, I'm not losing to
Why?
this guy.
Why do you think that?
Because just all the training we did, man, I never lost to him, and like I felt so sure about the matchup, like when we got it, and like Dustin the whole week's like, bro, we're gonna kill this fucking guy. It's not gonna be close. So then when I got rocked, I was like, dude, there's no way you're losing this fight.
Yeah.
And then luckily he was able to hang in there and
Yeah.
crack him a couple times. You know, other than that, like he landed that good shot, knocked my mouthpiece out.
Yeah.
But other than that, I felt like I had things in hand, and then just got a little bit lazy.
Right.
And
Yeah.
got cracked, and that's fighting. Like it can happen so fast to just
Yeah.
change the course of it. But yeah, it was good to come back get the dub for sure.
It was wild.
It was pretty crazy.
It's just crazy that you guys do this for a living. So how did you get? I mean, so I've seen you on some other UFC podcasts. People talk about, and it's perfect for me because as you're probably not aware, because I know so much about UFC and fighting, and you're like, this guy knows his shit. For those of us who don't know fighting,
not Nick though.
not me, not me, not me. What got you into that? How did you get into fighting and pursue this career to be at the pinnacle in fighting in the UFC? I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I have no business really fighting. Like where I come from, like fighting was not a thing, bro. Like you hear a lot of stories. Guys are like, man, I was fighting every week in the streets, and then it led me to this. Like that was not me, bro. We were like riding jet skis and fucking being idiots. Like it was
Really?
just like if there was a fight at my school, it was talked about for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Man, remember that fight? It was
Yeah,
crazy. That was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
But I wrestled my whole life and was like really competitive.
Yeah. Okay.
Played football, got recruited to play college football, so I love sports. And then once I got done wrestling in college, it was like, well, what are you going to do? And my mom, she was like, go do CrossFit. And I was like, all right. And I went and did CrossFit for like about a day, and I was like, this ain't it, Mom. I'm not doing this. She's like, well, what are you going to do? I'm like, well, there's this MMA gym. And she was like, no, I don't want you to do this. Like, you have a degree. There's no reason for you to go get punched in the head, as any like good mother probably would do. But I was like, fuck it, I'm going to start training. So I just was training. I didn't really have any intentions of fighting. I was always a fan of the sport. I'd always have like people over to watch fights. I had like a fight club on my wrestling team. We would like make guys fight each other. I was never really the one fighting. I was more like
Like go bodies or what?
huh?
Like go bodies?
No,
or what?
like full on fighting.
Full on fights.
We went and bought like some shitty gloves
You're the
from like
promoter.
Dick's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Made them have walkout songs. Bought them some like $1 mouthpieces. We had no idea like how dumb that was. But like, yeah, I was like, I'd be like, this guy's talking shit about you. He said he could beat your ass. I never said that, but I would just orchestrate these fights. Yeah. So these guys would throw down. But yeah, so I loved fighting. I loved like being a fan of it. And then I needed something that kind of filled the void of wrestling. And MMA was really the only thing that was even close. And so I was training and I was coaching college wrestling at the time, but I never really had an intention to fight. And then there was a girl at the gym I was at, and she was just kind of my friend / coach at the time. But like I would train, she'd be like, you don't really know what you're doing. Like, let me help you out. And I was like, you don't know shit. Like, who are you? But she was in the UFC. I'm married to her now. She's my wife. But
Right.
at the time, like I was
Yeah.
like, who the hell is this little
Power-
girl? Like she
power
can't teach
couple.
me how to fight.
Yeah.
And she told me like when she first started training me, she's like, I'm gonna give you all my time. Like, I'll give you private lessons, whatever. And she came from a boxing background, so I was like, oh, awesome. She's like, but you're gonna owe me 2% of whatever you make. She's like, you're gonna make it big. You're gonna owe me 2%. I've been chasing that 2% deal back ever since we got married. Like, I don't even get 2% now. This is bullshit.
And now that 2% probably cost you a lot more.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So she always told me like, man, you're gonna make it. You're gonna be in the UFC. I always thought that seemed like far fetched. I was like, nah. It seemed like the little kid that's like, I'm gonna be in the NFL, and people were like, man, get real. But I liked doing it. All my friends were doing it, so I was like, man, I'll keep fighting. Like my first fight ever, I didn't even. She signed the contract. She signed me up for the fight. She called me. She's like, hey, I got a fight for you. I was living out of my car at the time, so I was like, okay, I guess. She's like,
how do you do that? How do you go from like, okay, I got to fight? Like what? It's not UFC. It's like
just some regional promotion. Like you fight in a bar. They put a cage up. Yeah. I mean, I fought in some crazy places. I fought in like a horse barn before. Like, they're warming up next to like stalls with horses. Like the regional MMA scene is like the carnival, bro. There's some real circus freaks out there. Yeah. It's wild, bro. But so that first fight, she calls me. She's like, hey, I got a fight for you. And I'm like, when is it? She's like, Saturday. I'm like, Saturday when? Like this Saturday? She's like, yeah, this Saturday. I think it was like Wednesday. I was like, all right. I was like, do I need to sign a contract? She's like, no, I signed it for you. You're good. I'm like, well, what do we know about the guy that I'm fighting? She's like, I don't know. He's his debut.
Oh,
I'm like, sick.
Really?
Can't wait. So I show up. She's like, just wrestle him. Like, you were a national qualifier in wrestling. Like, you're going to beat most of these regional guys.
Right.
I was like, okay, I guess. I mean, I've been doing some striking stuff. She's like, no, fuck that. Just wrestle. Go out there, close my eyes, sandlot it. Just throw it as hard my right hand as hard as I can. Landed it, knocked him out. First punch I threw. I was like,
really?
I'm going to be in the UFC. I'm amazing. I was like, definitely believed my own hype at that point. But the funny thing was that day, so Ohio does same day weigh-ins for amateurs. So you weigh in the morning, fight at night. And I posted a picture, I think, on my Instagram, like of my face off with this guy. And at the time, like I had no tattoos. This guy's all tatted up. Like looks like he's gonna beat my ass for sure. My mom calls me. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing. I'm just in Ohio." She's like, "Yeah, why are you there?" I'm like, "I'm fighting some guy tonight." She's like, "What?" She starts freaking out. She's like, "Well, how much are they paying you?" I'm like, "Nothing. I paid to do this. This is just for free. It's amateurs." She's like, "You're not even getting paid?" I'm like, "All right, gotta go." Called her afterwards. She's like, how'd the fight go? I'm like, I knocked him out in one punch. She didn't believe me. Like, I had to find the footage to show her. She like,
Really?
Yeah. Now they're all on board for sure, but
Yeah.
I can imagine. Like, being a parent, too, I'm like, man, if my kids came to me and said they wanted to fight, it would be tough to be like,
Yeah.
this is a good decision for you.
Yeah.
I love this for you.
Yeah, 100%.
It's working out now, but shit.
Then you go and fight in the horse barn, knock this guy out. Then what? Then like when do you first start getting paid? You do a couple more of those.
So
and
I had
then
a
what?
bunch of Ami fights. I had, well, not a bunch. I mean, some people have more. I had 6 amateur fights.
Wow.
But I was trying to stay super active. Like most people, they'll take a bunch of time. I was like, once I got competing, I was like, man, I just want to burn through this. And I was only 4-2 as an amateur, but my 2 losses, I lost to a kid named Brian Battle, who won the Ultimate Fighter. He's in the UFC now. And I lost to a kid named Dalton Rusta, who fights in PFL. He's top 5 kid in Bellator. So the guys I was fighting in amateurs and losing to, I was losing close fights, but they were pro level fights. So, and the guys that weren't those guys, I was beating like real quick. It was like 30 seconds. So I was like, I need to get paid if I'm going to fight these really good guys.
Right.
And my coach was like, no, stay amateur. But I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And this was back when I lived in Michigan. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to go pro. So I went pro. And then I went pro in 2019, April of 2019.
And what does that mean? You just like, hey, I'm pro. I'm gonna sign.
Yeah.
up for
So that's
pro
the funny
fights.
thing about MMA, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's no requirement to be a pro.
And that's
you
what-
just got to be like, I'm going to be a pro now.
And that's when you see guys who are like, I'm a pro fighter. I'm a pro. I'm in the UFC. I'm like, well, are you? Or are
Yeah.
you just the guy in the horse barn? And,
Yeah.
you
So
know?
like UFC for sure, tough to do. Pro fighter, you sign a piece of paper and
Yeah.
like I'm fighting pro now. And so the guy tells
I
you like,
could be
yo,
a pro.
yeah, you could be.
Yeah.
Everyone here could be
With
a
my
pro.
leg
There's no
kicks.
requirement.
I know how to get it done.
So once I went pro in April of 2019, and then I just cranked fights out, and I got signed. Luckily, like before Corona happened, because Corona like shut MMA down everywhere. Because
Yeah.
there was no fans, so you couldn't make any money on the regional scene. So these horse barn promotions were like, "Fuck this."
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
So I had my last fight in February 2020. I was 5-0, and then I got signed on Contender Series, which ended up getting. It was supposed to be in June, but it got pushed back to September. But in 1 year, basically, a little less than a year, it was like 10 months. I was signed to potentially get in the UFC, which was like crazy fast.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just stayed active.
And then, real quick, Will, let us know when you need to swap that camera over, if you got a timer. So, how do you get? You go to pro, then you start signing up for pro fights, and at that level, not UFC, you're probably making what, $500? Not
If
even.
that,
Yeah. You know,
I think
a
I
fight?
fought So for me, it was about I always was like bigger picture, right? Like I needed a pro title because pro titles look good. I needed an undefeated record. I needed to stay active. So the paycheck I wasn't really worried about because I was working. I was a union carpenter in Michigan, so I would work all day and then just train at night. So the money, I was making good enough money doing that. Like my first pro title fight, I made $0, and then there was a miscommunication. I was like, I'll do it for free. And then for whatever reason on the contract, they have to say that you're getting paid a certain amount of money or the commission won't accept it because you're a professional fighter.
Right.
So he had put that I was making $1,000 and it was around Christmas. And I was like, bro, don't give me the $1,000 you put on my contract because they were donating to kids, like Toys for Tots or whatever. I was like, just donate it to your whatever. And he's like, oh, I'm not actually paying you $1,000. So I ended up paying him $1,000 to donate to the Toys for Tots. And I was like, oh, I can't be an asshole now. I'm like, oh, never mind.
Yeah. Oh, because you're
So I
like,
was
I'm
like-
donating my.
Yeah. So I was like, all right. So I actually was like in the
That's cool.
Yeah, in the negative for sure.
Yeah.
So, but it was good, man. I wasn't fighting really for the money at that point because I had good management. I had people that were like, man, don't worry about the money you're going to make here. Like, we just got to get to the UFC. And I didn't know how fast I could get there, but I was like, I'm going to get there as fast as I can.
So then how do you get there? It's just like having a good record, and then it's not like the PGA Tour or MLB, like you get drafted and then
It's
you work
so
your
much
way
bullshit, man. It's like you got to be lucky.
Yeah,
You
wasn't
gotta
that
have-
Jacoby? Like someone dropped out of a fight,
Yeah.
and it was like, hey.
So
do you
that's how
wanna
I
do
ended
it?
up
Right.
getting signed too. Was
Right.
short notice. It was like a 48 hours.
That's what you were saying. Yeah.
So like you can get signed short notice, you can get signed contender, you can get signed by the Ultimate Fighter. And I lost my first time on contender. I was up at 205 and I lost my fight. It's the first time I'd
What's
ever
contender?
lost. That's like if you win on contender series, you have an opportunity to
Is it
get
like a TV
contract.
show?
Yeah, so it's like
Oh.
Dana White's Tuesday night fight.
Oh, and you were on that.
Series. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I was on that, lost, and was like, okay, what am I going to do? Because it was still kind of COVID, so there weren't a ton of fights. And picked up a fight at LFA, which is like a big regional promotion. I would say it's like AAA if you're doing like baseball.
Yeah.
So I won my fight in there, and then they were casting for the Ultimate Fighter again after I won. And they told me like, hey man, you're on. If you want to be on, you're on. And my wife was pregnant, going to give birth like literally in the next like 2 weeks, and they wanted me to report and start filming in the next 2 weeks. And I was like,
I got a kid coming.
I was like, she was like, I don't really want you to. She had done the Ultimate Fighter. That's how she got in the UFC.
Oh, really?
And so she kind of knew what it was. There's like no communication. You're gone for 6 weeks. Like no phone, nothing.
Yeah.
You can't. There's no way to communicate with anybody.
Right.
And so she's like, I would rather you not do that, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not the most conducive thing. But if that's the only way you can get in the UFC, then you got to do it. But I was like, that's not the only way I can get in the UFC. Like there's other options. But so shortly after I declined the Ultimate Fighter, they put me on Contender Series again. But I had to wait 6 months. I was going to fight in October. And then circumstance happened, and the 2 weeks before I was supposed to fight on Contender Series, they called me on Wednesday and were like, hey, what's your weight? And I was like, within whatever I needed to be. And they're like, do you want to fight this Saturday for UFC? I'm like, yeah, of course. So I flew out that Wednesday, cut weight Thursday, and then weighed in and fought.
How much weight did you have to cut? 2 days notice.
It wasn't too bad. I'm always pretty close. I think I was 203. So it was like 18 pounds, but it's mostly like that. It seems crazy. So listen, when you say numbers like that, people are like, you cut 18 pounds, but the majority of that is water. Like you're always, at least for me, I'm always water loading.
There's always hope for me.
That's what we'll do one time, bro. We'll make you do a bath cut.
Yeah.
We'll have you water load for like a week and then just see how much you'll lose if we do a couple of baths.
Jeez.
But the weight cut wasn't too bad. It was, it was just crazy. Your UFC debuts, I think, always pretty crazy, and that was a wild one for sure.
Yeah. And what happened in that fight?
I lost decision. Yeah.
Decision.
A decision.
And then, so you lose, but are you in the UFC, or
So
is it
now
just for
I'm
that
in. Yeah,
one
it's
fight?
4-fight deal. So they signed me to
Oh,
a 4-fight
really?
deal, which doesn't really mean anything. A 4-fight deal typically will guarantee like 2 fights. But if you
Okay.
lose those 2 fights, they could be like, see you later. All 4
Right.
fights means is I can't go anywhere for 4 fights.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So there's no
Okay.
like guarantee on the UFC's end that they're going to
Okay.
like, keep me employed.
Right.
You got to win your
What
fights.
year was that?
Crazy.
2021, September.
Okay, so you've been in it for 4 years now.
Yeah, so I've had more fights. I've had twice as many fights in the UFC as I had outside of the UFC.
Wow.
Yeah.
Weren't you the most active guy during a period of time?
Yeah, so from the time I signed to my fight in Denver, which was July of 2024, me and Kevin Holland were the 2 most active guys on the roster.
How many fights?
10.
Wow.
Yeah, 10 fights. It was a lot, man. I fought 6 times in 14 months, which was just like
Wow.
unbelievable. It's cool. Like you make good money and you get to the next contract, but it's tough to be super successful because it's just like your body's
Yeah.
constantly in stress, constantly cutting weight.
Yeah, for real.
So it was good. After that last fight in Denver, I took like 8 months off. Was like, I'm just gonna chill for a little bit, coach. And then I obviously had this last one, which was awesome. But I think the time off was important. I won't ever fight like that pace anymore. I'll fight like 3 fights a year
Right.
and be good with it. Yeah.
So do you know when your next fight's gonna be?
Well, they offered me May 17th, but I was like, no, I'm good. I'm not doing that again.
What
right?
the fuck?
It's the first time I've ever told the UFC no. I was like, no, I need more time. You know, my kids are getting older. I want to be around. And when I'm in camp, like my wife being in the UFC is the best thing because she knows like what it requires.
Right.
But it's tough, man. It's tough to not be at home. And like this last camp, my oldest daughter, she was in intensive therapy at Napa Center because she has some genetic.
I remember you telling us about
some
that in
genetic
Florida.
stuff that
Was it AG?
ALG 13? It's called, yeah. So she's nonverbal but she's there every day, and I'm not able to be there. And then my wife's trying to keep up with my 1.5-year-old while also helping my oldest. So just like, it's not very conducive, but it's necessary sometimes. But I wasn't gonna do that again. Like jump right back into fight camp. Like need a little reset. Plus, I broke my orbital in that fight, and I needed some time to heal. And yeah,
That's insane.
yeah, man, fighting's stupid. I'm gonna be honest. Like it's cool. It's there's some things that are awesome about it, but it's one of those things like golf. Like if you're not good at golf, you can still have fun. You can go out with your buddies, have a couple beers, suck at golf, and you all laugh at it. If you suck at fighting, don't be fighting, bro, because it's not going to be a good time. It's not going to be a good time.
It'd be like me. But
God, that's crazy.
it's like I still every day I'm a little nervous about the Rory bet.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up.
Bro, I have like the skinniest arms, of the weirdest body. I got skinny legs, skinny
turkey
arms,
legs.
turkey
Yeah.
build. You know, it's just it's a bad look. And if you put me in like a tank, and I'd go full embrace, like, you know, boxing shorts, tank top.
We should
I'd
put
look
you through
awful.
a camp.
Yeah, I should do a little train.
Yeah.
And then I have to get into a ring with a fighter. I've been in 2 fights in my life, and it's different. I think when you're like in the moment and you're so pissed. I don't know if it's like that for you, if you like get into a different mindset, because I'm never a fighter. It's like I'm like Michael Jackson says, I'm a lover, not a fighter. But the 2 fights I've been in, I was like murder was on my mind. Like I wanted to fucking kill this guy.
Yeah.
You know? And
How long do those fights last?
bro, it was, well, I knocked the guy out at Lucky Joe's in Fort Collins.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. And the other one was outside of Lucky Joe's.
Let's go
Also
to
in Fort
Lucky
Collins,
Joe's,
yeah,
bro.
honestly.
Yeah.
Lucky Joe's is good for you.
But it was I won't say his name, but it was in middle school I was 5'2", 160, so I was really short and fat, glasses. And then my freshman year of high school, end of freshman year, I was 6'1", 130. So like I just grew 11 inches
No
in a
one
year.
recognized you.
No one recognized me. I was bullied in middle school. And then I got like decent looking. Then I started putting on some weight, got in shape. And I was just like, I ran into the middle school bully at CSU.
Remember me?
Yeah. And he was like, kind of.
rules.
Yeah, exactly. He was kind of talking shit. It was that whole thing again. And it just like all this rage came to my. And anyways, so, but it was like 20 seconds. You know, it was a couple punches. And
So
then I
that's the
clocked him
thing.
in the chin and knocked him out.
That's the thing with street fights, right? It's like 20 seconds, 30 seconds,
Yeah.
and it's a long one.
And you get on the ground, you start grabbing, and then someone pulls you
Yeah.
off. It's not like a
And you
real-
both get up and you're like, we don't really want to fight anymore.
Yeah,
We're tired.
you bro
Yeah.
tap it.
Yeah. Bro tapping.
Bro
But
tapping.
5-minute rounds is like different, bro.
Yeah,
I
that's
can't be that
crazy.
angry because if I'm that angry,
No.
I'll be gassed in like 20 seconds.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like you got to look at it, and you said you were fighting. This guy was your buddy.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
you
a buddy
trained
of
with
mine.
him.
Yeah, for sure.
And you got to go in and be like me and Liam or me and John like fighting and be like, bro, I don't want to hit you.
Yeah.
You know, but you got to
For
set
sure.
that aside and be like, hey, it's either you or me, man. Like,
Yeah,
put
it is
that
definitely a
aside.
fine line of like it's a competition, but also like the competition is fighting. So like you got to have a little bit of an edge, but
Yeah.
it's like I can't be so overwhelmed with the emotion that now I can't perform in the fight. you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
But yeah, Julian, you know, he's a buddy, but once he punched me in the face, I'm like, all right, shit.
Yeah,
I guess we're getting after it.
yeah, absolutely.
Did we tell you about the bet in Tampa that Nick and Rory were going to do?
No.
I can't remember. They were going to do him versus Rory in some sort of golf match. Losers got to go to your guys' gym and spar
I like it.
with one of you guys.
No, the match is.
I do remember this because I told Rory if he loses, he's got to spar my wife.
Yes,
Yeah.
He was talking about that the other day. He's like, bro, do you think actually I would have to fight Cody's wife? And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, I think she'd beat the shit out of me.
She
I was
would.
like, she would.
Yeah. No
not-
thinking really necessary.
it's
I
not
think
a,
for sure.
It's not a thought, man.
She's way meaner than me, dude. She's meaner than most of the guys at the gym, so he'd be probably have it worse if he had to go with her.
I-
Most
That's
of the
what I
guys would
said.
be
I
like,
said
"Oh,
it'd
be
probably
nice."
be worse, bro.
That would be really good for him to do that. I want him to do that. But it's me versus Rory. I have to beat him on every hole, or beat or tie him on every hole.
Yeah.
If he beats me on just one hole out of 18, then I'll fight. If I beat or tie him on every hole, then he has to.
Seems
fight.
like you're set up for failure here.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
he just has to win one hole. One hole, real
3
golf.
rounds.
So Karate Combat, they do some pretty cool stuff. They were here in Denver, my fight week, so I didn't end up going. But they do every show now. They're doing like a CEO versus CEO type fight,
Oh.
and so we should get you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy.
We
so
need to get, I need
Colin.
to get trained up for that.
Oh yeah, you got trained. So my buddy Colin, he actually trained one of the guys,
Uh-huh.
and the guy had no idea what he was doing. But
Really?
he went out there, he threw down for sure. He
Really?
lost. He lost, but he threw down. It
Really?
was pretty sick. Yeah.
Is it like actual UFC or do you have headgear on?
So
and
there's
like-
no takedowns really.
Okay.
It's mostly like kickboxing, but it's
Okay.
in the pit. Like you've seen the pit before.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And so there's like I could put you on the pit and hit you. Like there's some specific rules, but no headgear.
Really?
Bigger gloves are like the puffy gloves, not just
Yeah.
the 4-ounce gloves. And I
Yeah.
think they wear shin pads too.
Okay.
Yeah. We
I
should
could
get
be
you
down for
signed
that.
up
Sign
for
him
that.
up.
I gotta hit
Sign
up. I
me
forget
up.
the guy's name. Dana Brown. That's what he calls himself.
And it's like a TV show or what is it?
Yeah, Karate Combat Club. So it's like a fight league.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's they're on UFC Fight Pass. They're like a big
Really?
promotion. They're not MMA. They're
Yeah,
a
yeah,
different
yeah,
league.
yeah,
It's like a
yeah.
different sport kind of,
Yeah.
but it's cool, man. And their shows are crazy. It's like you walk in and it looks like you're like in a spaceship, and you should check them out. They're actually fun to watch.
Are
My
there-
buddy went to one. He said it was like the coolest show he's ever
Really?
been to.
How many people are watching?
They always have like a ton of celebrities there. It's probably like in the crowd, probably 1,000 people.
Oh,
but
fuck.
then
That would be
online-
funny if the
Yeah.
losers got to do that.
Dude,
I
yeah.
like the
Bro.
Romanian version, and it's like one guy fighting 10 midgets.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
those freak show fights are awesome. Or you see like one really obese man fighting like 4 women. You're
Yeah.
like, wait a second here.
Yeah, they're all running around. Yeah. Alex went to one of those that we cannot talk about on the podcast, but his story is crazy in Malaysia or wherever he went. Or
One
Muay
time
Thai.
after when Dustin won in New York, we were like, man, what are we gonna do to celebrate? Because his fight was like early in the day. It was like crazy early in the day. I think it was like noon. He was done. And they're like, man, there's this bar. They got midget wrestling. Let's go to midget wrestling. So we went and watched midget wrestling. And at the end of it, Dustin, I left, but there's a picture of Dustin and the midget, the champ, and he's holding Dustin's thumb, like like how a little baby holds it. And he's like, it's hilarious.
Oh, that is so funny.
That's so funny.
Oh, God. Yeah, I would love to see Nick on that karate thing.
Oh,
Me
dude,
too.
That'd be amazing.
we gotta train you up though for sure.
Yeah, I couldn't go in there.
It's only
blind.
2-minute rounds too.
No.
It's what?
2-minute rounds. So,
Okay.
yeah.
How many rounds?
3, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'd be all right.
But who am I fighting? Like, I want to know who I'm fighting. Like, what?
Somebody else who doesn't have a ton of
Yeah,
experience.
I want like some
yeah.
pansy.
Tell him,
you
give
know?
us a good matchup, dude.
Yeah, rig it a little bit. Good matchup for Nick.
Yeah, exactly.
If they did that at your gym, would you guys give them like gear and stuff? Like,
Oh yeah.
they-
Like, if
Hard.
Rory was fighting your wife, would you put him in headgear and stuff, or?
You know,
He's laughing.
Yeah.
headgear can sometimes be worse because the whiplash. Because I
really?
make my wife wear big gloves, like boxing gloves,
Yeah.
not MMA gloves.
Okay.
Because if she wore MMA gloves, she might cut him up. That'd be bad. That'd be real embarrassing, dude.
I would love it.
Can you imagine? Oh
Mm-hmm.
my God. I was just texting DJ about it. I was like, can we actually do that? He's like, yes, bro. Come by and we'll make it happen.
Dustin's pumped. He's like got a whole camera crew there for
yeah, he
himself.
loves it.
Bro, they would. I bet like a lot of the guys though would find it like kind of funny.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for
They
sure.
would watch it and be laughing.
Oh,
Dude, I almost
probably.
think like UFC sometimes it's cool to watch, but it can be boring because like guys are high level. It's like
Yeah.
very much a chess match.
Yeah.
I love watching two people that like don't know shit fucking throw
Yeah.
down. Those fights are almost better. I remember one time when I lived in Michigan, we went to these fights in the UP, so Upper Peninsula.
Yeah.
And the Upper Peninsula is like 20 years behind modern America, like in,
Yeah.
just in everything, like technology and everything. It's like it's unreal. So we went up there, and these two guys are fighting. They're probably like in their 20s. And at one point, they both look at each other, take like 3 steps back, hands on their knees, start just to breathe, like because they're so gassed.
Oh, really?
I'm like, hell yeah. The ref's like, you guys got to fight. They're like, 1 second. I was like, this is the best, bro. Let them breathe for a second, because when they come back, they're about to be throwing heat.
Yeah, they're gonna be throwing when they come back. Oh. So when we were in Tampa for DJ's fight, is that like a typical Saturday? Like, would you do that same thing that he does, hang out at the pool, socialize, or are you one of the guys who's like, I'm gonna sit in my hotel room and just chill?
Yeah, I don't like sitting in my hotel room and thinking about it more, because it's already such a big thing. Like, I think this last time we went, we got breakfast. One thing I did different this time, I'm not a big like cold plunge or sauna person, right? Like everyone like swears by these like magic sciences. I'm like, I don't know. But I did do a cold plunge this time before my fight. It actually helped. I think because like the fight or flight, all day you're dealing with like fight or flight.
Yeah.
Because you're like, man, I got to fight. Like think about when you're in school and you're like, see you after school, we're going to fight. You're like, all day. You're like, fuck, dude, I don't want to do this. But I've been doing this for 3 months now. And then the day of, you're like, oh shit. But I did that cold plunge and it makes you engage in fight or flight, because that's what all that is. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, I feel better. So I'll probably do that now. Yeah. But I think being around your people is always important. Like, and Dustin always, man, like, I always have probably 10 people around me. That dude, he's got more people than ever. I remember one time we were at a fight and I was like, what's up, man? I'm Cody. Nice to meet you. He's like, yeah, how do you know Dustin? I'm like, oh, I'm one of his teammates. I'm one of his coaches. He's like, I'm like, how do you know him? He's like, I was his Uber driver one time. I was like, you were his Uber driver? You came all the way out here? He's like, yeah. I'm like, dude, I came to get my mom to come to my fights. He's got his Uber driver showing up.
That is so true.
That is,
it's
oh god.
We went when we were down in or when we were in Arizona, right? Yeah, we went to the bars and Daniel was there, and the Charlie, his guy, was like, hey, how do you know Dustin? He's like, oh, you know, I met him at the Kentucky Derby. I was like, all right, like, you know, but like, he was like a baller, that guy. And when we were at his, I was more nervous than Dustin, and we got to the pool, and Daniel is a professional alcoholic. And he had, on Charlie's tab, he had, I think, 12 or 13 mojitos. And then we go after. So you guys are like, all right, we're going to go to the fight. We got to get ready. See you guys. So we're like, we're going to go to get like dinner and appetizer. So we're all like, we'll have a beer. You know, we've been drinking.
This was like 3:45.
This is 3:45.
It wasn't late.
So we walked from the hotel to like downtown Tampa, and we, you know, we're like, I'll have a whiskey, beer. Daniel's like, I'll have a bottle of the Merlot. I'm like, you're going to do a bottle of red wine right now.
One glass.
He's like, I got to sober up.
He's like, you just had 12 mojitos. Now you want a bottle of wine? Then we go to the Yard House after. Yeah. But right across from there. And now we're drinking. And me and him have the yard beers. Like this. And do a chug contest. So I actually beat him, shockingly.
Yeah.
And the chug contest, the yard beer, and he's like, I need to get another one of those. I'm like, bro.
You need to chill out, bro.
You need to chill out. Then
do you guys have a yard of water, please?
Yeah, no. There's no water in his system. Then we go to the fight. He's drinking all at the fight. We're like, oh, shit, now we have to go to the after party, you know, at the casino. He's drinking. Now he's on hard shit at like 4 a.m. Our flight's at 7 a.m., and then I'm like, I got to go home with Rob. Rory puked on the way home, you know, on the sidewalk. And Daniel rolled in around 5:30, grabbed his stuff, went to the airport, and he was, I'm pretty sure, drinking in the taxi to the airport.
That's crazy.
He's crazy.
They're like, why are you leaving for the airport so soon? He's like, got to hit the bar before I get on the flight.
Yeah. But it was so funny because we were in Arizona, and I was like, bro, play a joke on Daniel. Tell him that Charlie guy's pissed at whoever drank the 12 mojitos. Because I told Daniel, I was like, bro, you know, like, that wasn't an open bar? And he's like, what? And I was like, bro, I don't know. Dustin, like, doesn't even want to see you. You ruined his friendship with Charlie. And so then Dustin, like, goes up to Daniel, and Daniel's, like, a little scared. And Dustin's, like, mean mugging him, and he's like, bro, you ruined my friendship with Charlie. Like, he is so pissed. You drank it, and he had to pay for all those drinks. And Daniel's like, what? It was like 8 or 9. Like, I'll pay the guy. What's his Venmo? Like, let me pay him. What's the big deal?
Oh, you should have carried the whole thing out.
We should have.
Charlie got a random $100 payment on Venmo. Yeah. Like, what the hell is this for? 100%. Talking about those mojitos 4 months ago. Yeah, Dustin's total quarterback energy, man. He always has like 100 people rolling deep with him.
It was, and then remember at the Waste Management, we did this collab with Hey Dude.
I know, that's sick, by the way. Congrats, man.
That's awesome. It was sick. It was really cool. And they had this huge booth across from the stage at the Bird's Nest where like Jelly Roll and Nickelback and who else performed there? I
Was
don't
it
know.
Luke Bryan one night?
Luke Bryan.
Heard Creed came out.
Creed.
Yeah, Creed. That was cool.
Yeah, and so the first night of the concert, Liam and I went there, and we had our like vendor pass because they and it was like all access. You go anywhere. You go on stage. You can go VIP, whatever. Like this is great. Let's go get drinks. Let's do this. Super fun. Next night, Dustin and Daniel and Corey, my buddies, are there, and we're like, let's go in the vendor entrance because we got the vendor pads. We had dinner. We go there, and the security guy who's like blocking it, and we're like, nope, we got passes, and he's like, nope, can't let you in after 9. And Dustin's like, what the fuck, bro? And he's like, bro, there's vendors, and they're abusing it. They're going to the VIP. They're drinking exactly what we did the night before. You know, they're
Like, what
getting from
assholes, man.
vendors are supposed to be vending, not partying. And I was like, all right, well, and Dustin's like this, like in front of the guy, and he's like, can you back up? He's like, I ain't moving. he's like, had a few drinks.
And then the guy's like, well, if there's an emergency, like people need to exit here, so can you at least move to the side? Not moving. I'm not moving.
And then he's like, gets a little lippy, and he's like, oh, I didn't think he said he was gonna fight anybody,
No,
but he was just kind of
this is
like
bullshit. Blah, blah, blah.
kind of lippy and definitely like handling it very poorly. So I was like, let's just go around the other side. Let's try and talk to somebody different. And so we go around the other side. Another guy comes up, and I explain to him, hey, we're here. We're coherent. And they're like, all right, we'll let you in. We're walking in, and Dustin's like, man, I'm glad I handled that well because that could have gone really bad. I was like, you did not handle that well at all. Like,
What's
we
the,
could have gone
the
in.
opposite of well was how you handled that.
Yeah.
We could have left 10 minutes
He's
ago.
like, I'm glad I didn't mouth off back there.
Yeah, he's like, I'm glad I kept my cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was keeping your cool. I was like, I thought you were gonna beat this guy's ass on the sidewalk. Glad
I'm not moving. And if there's an emergency, I'm definitely not moving. Not even if there's a fucking fire.
Yeah, literally.
That's how he was.
And then the people were like, hey, if you guys are going to get drinks, just take the wristbands off because technically you're not supposed to be drinking as a vendor. So DJ takes his bracelet off, gets like 5 whiskey cokes in an hour. And he's like walking around. He's like, it's bullshit. I couldn't even get a drink.
As he has a full drink
As
in
he
his
has a
hand.
drink in his hand. And I'm like, isn't that like your 3rd whiskey coke? He's like, well, I had to take the bracelet off. I'm
I only
like,
got 2 drinks.
He was so
Ridiculous.
dramatic too about the bracelet. He's like,
yeah,
throwing it.
can't get it off. He's like, oh, fuck this bracelet.
Yeah.
That was a good time. What's your guys' plan for Vegas then? It's like, is it any different than like a Tampa? Because it's kind of a popping place, obviously.
Vegas is super easy, I think. Like it's a short flight.
Yeah.
I feel like everywhere. I fought a bunch of places, but Vegas is like home for fighting. I've been there the most. He normally just hits a casino the whole week we're there, and then afterwards as well.
Yeah, pretty.
He shows up, he's winning money. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a good week. It's gonna be-
Sounds about right.
yeah,
He said, are you guys going to stay at that same house again?
I think that's what he's trying to plan on. I mean, that was the best, bro.
It looks
Yeah.
sick. He
It
sent
was
us some
sick. There's like a
videos.
movie theater, a basketball
Yeah.
court.
Is that where you just hung out the day of your fight too?
Yeah.
Just like chilling at the house and then
Yeah,
until it's time to go.
And then report, and then they always make you report like 4 hours early, which is way too much. You
Yeah.
show up, you're like, fuck, can't we just sit here for 3 hours? And
Yeah, what do you do? Why do they want you reporting so early?
it's I don't know, man. The UFC is like a well-oiled machine. Like there's a reason, but it sucks to have to be there all day and just think about fighting. Like,
Yeah.
fuck, man, I gotta go fight this dude. You're like looking at the clock. You're like, oh man, 30 minutes. I'm gonna be getting punched in the face. It's gonna fucking suck.
Do they have anything for you to do back there, like a massage chair or like
Nothing.
something
Get
to
stared at by the
relax?
commission. That's it.
The
Every
what?
time you gotta go to the bathroom, commissions with you. They
Really?
just follow you around. Make sure you're not like
Jason?
doing shit. Like my buddy, so what Colin, he fought in the UFC. He fought one time. I forget why this was. It was like the main event was like a guy who fought in. He's like a Chinese guy maybe. So it was like they put it on their time. So he had to report at like 7 a.m. And he was like, he's not a morning person. So he's like trying to bring coffee into the room, and they're like, no, you can't have coffee. And he's like, it's 7 fucking a.m., dude. This coffee isn't gonna make me win the fight. Okay, let me have a
Really?
coffee. They're like, no, it made him pour it out. He was so pissed, bro.
Really?
Mad as fuck. Yeah, 7 a.m. report time was the worst I've ever been a part of.
Yeah.
That shit was.
Why did they make
not
him
good.
dump the coffee? Like in case there was something in it?
Well, they
Or-
say like you're not supposed to have. Technically, you're not supposed to have caffeine.
Really?
Like right before you fight.
I would have
You're
done
right.
PCP, but
Hell yeah.
Are they drug testing you too?
Yeah, so as soon as you
day
show
of?
up, you gotta pee and drug
Yeah.
test, and yeah,
That's
it's a
crazy.
whole thing, bro.
Yeah.
So
One
for the-
time, like, trying to think, it wasn't me. It's my wife. They're gonna drug test my wife, but like she she couldn't pee or something, whatever. And so she fought, and then she had lost, and she had to sit backstage with commission for like 3 hours until she could pee. She's like, I just fought. I don't have to pee. They're like, sorry, we got to hang out.
Really?
She's like, get me the fuck out of here. I don't want to be here.
And they watch you pee.
Do they watch you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They actually got to see like dick in hand?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
You gotta shake it a
Coming
couple
out the
times for
pee.
them.
Really? Do you really?
They're over your shoulder.
I did a drug test once, and I like jostled as I handed it to the guy, and it spilled on his hand.
Oh.
You did it on purpose, too, didn't you?
It's okay, it's sterile.
Oh my god.
He's like, happens more than you think.
Sorry, pal.
You know Bailey from DU? He had to take a drug test one time, and he's like, hey, man, I can't piss unless I take a shit. And the guy's like, all right. So then he sits down, just whips his dick out, starts taking just a horrible, nasty shit while he's pissing in the cup. And the guy's in the room, 3 feet away from him as he's pissing in the cup, and then
Hand
gives it to the
him.
guy.
Here you go, man.
Oh, I was like, that is an awful job.
Oh, that is rough.
Yeah, it's
man.
got to be the worst.
It'd be
job.
bad around UFC guys, but like random college athletes just sitting in a room while they're taking a shit would be brutal.
Dude, they show up too. I remember one time back when we're not with USADA anymore. We have a different drug testing company, but it was like right after my second daughter was born, and she would not sleep through the night. And this dude showed up at my house like 6 a.m. ringing my doorbell. My dogs are freaking out. My kid wakes up. I was like, bro, I'm pissed, but my wife will fucking kill you. Like, you should probably not be here.
Wow.
And it was super awkward because I had been up. I was up already, and like when you wake up, you go take a piss. So he comes in. He has to hang out with me till I piss. So my wife is fuming mad,
yeah.
and he's just sitting in my kitchen like for like 3 hours. I'm like, this did not go as well as you thought it would.
No.
This was a bad decision.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Some people like. I mean, I've always had pretty good experiences other than that one, but like some people really hate USADA. They're like super inconvenient. They'll come
Yeah.
on like fight week. I remember one of my buddies weighed in. Obviously, you're super dehydrated when you weigh in, and like right then they're like, "Hey, you gotta come test." And he's like, "Well, I don't know where you think I'm gonna pee. Like, I haven't drank anything in 48 hours."
Yeah. And that's what you do. You don't drink, right? I mean,
Yeah,
if
you don't
wanna
drink.
cut-
Like, I cut my water probably like 24 hours out, and then just try to like sweat it all out in the sauna.
What do you
bath.
do? You're just doing sauna?
This last time I did sauna, I used to do baths. but
What's
they
that? Just a hot bath?
Sit in a hot tub. Yeah, you could do Epsom salt, but it doesn't really do
The hot
more.
tub won't like absorb water?
So you just sweat.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It sucks. I
How
mean, I
long
think,
would you sit in there for? Like
So I normally do like 20 minutes in the bath, 20 minutes in like a wrap. It's like they have like a lay down sauna that you can lay in. It's
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
blanket.
yeah.
And then 20 minutes in the bath, 20 minutes of wrap, and I'll lose like 6 pounds doing that. And then I'll take like a little break, like
6
30
pounds.
minutes, and then 20, 20, 20, 20. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. But
Wow.
I'm drinking like 2 gallons a day up until it's time to cut.
Really?
Yeah. So you're really water loading.
So, and that gets you just what, at a baseline to work on your weight? Like when you're drinking that much?
Yeah. So some people have to really diet hard, and then they have to water cut.
Right.
But I only walk like 205. So I don't have to diet.
And what's
crazy
your
hard.
fight weight?
185.
105. And you're walking around 205.
Yeah.
And you weigh in at 185, right? And that's the day before?
Day before.
And then what will you fight at? What will you
I
get back
usually weigh
up
like
to?
203, 204. Yeah.
Okay.
I get it all back pretty quick.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. Like Dustin doesn't really cut any weight. He'll be like 217, but we'll show up on fight week and slowly, just as the week goes on, day before he's like, "Oh, I'm on weight." I'm like, "You just lost 12 pounds throughout the week. Like, your body just knew it's time to be
Yeah.
on." And he does it every week.
That's
but he used
crazy.
to fight 85.
Yeah.
Now he's
That'd be
older,
a
bigger.
big guy at 185.
Yeah, long. But now he's older. It gets harder as you get older.
To fight the 185?
To
Because
cut
the endurance?
the weight.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
to cut the weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because your body wants to get bigger, bigger. So
So if the guys from the commission are in the room with you guys before you fight, how were there ever allegations about people putting like, you know, the
grease and stuff
the
on.
grease and shit
So
on?
the way people grease, allegedly, is
Like a pitcher.
they'll put lotion on, and then they'll take a hot shower. Like they'll take a shower, dry off, and then they'll put one like thin layer of like lotion or whatever they're gonna put on, and then they'll leave. And then as soon as I start to sweat, it becomes like grease.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Kinda
like
like
in the
sunscreen?
warm ups, I'll do like, so I'm not doing it backstage, but like I'll be there, and as soon as I like hit like a hard warm up, start sweating, now it's like grease right away. Yeah.
So that's like legal though, right? You can lotion.
Yeah, I mean it's all legal.
Yeah.
Like it's pro sports. You're gonna have people doing stuff like that.
Does that make a difference? Not being able to grab somebody or what?
Yeah, for sure. But also like there's some guys that are just naturally like unbelievably sweaty. Like
Oily.
Dustin's that way.
Yeah.
Like when I practice with him, I like try to take him out. I'm like, you're a freak, dude.
Yeah.
You just went and jumped in the pool and then came to train. You sick bastard. Yeah.
He's efficient.
Yeah, he is.
So it just it's just I don't like when people do that. Like, oh, you're greased. Like, well,
Yeah.
you didn't lose a fight because someone greased. Like,
You have an advantage with wrestling as kind of your foundation, rather than kind of standing styles.
yeah, I think for me, like, I think wrestling's the hardest to learn. And not just because it's like a hard skill set. I think it's hard on the body. So like people don't really want to do it because wrestling isn't really fun. Like striking looks cool. It's enjoyable. Wrestling's a grind. And so I think like it puts a lot of stress on the body. And so people are hurting and they're like, I don't want to do this shit. But everyone wants to strike. And then if you're a good athlete, like I picked up striking pretty fast because I was athletic. But a lot of wrestlers have a hard time picking up striking because they're super stiff. Like in wrestling, you're like this all the time.
Yeah.
They go fight.
Yeah.
They look, yeah.
Right.
But I was an athlete that was good at wrestling, not a wrestler that was athletic or was a, whatever. The opposite of that would be.
So how does that work? Like the advantage of like Dustin was like he doesn't want to fight, or wasn't he saying he doesn't want to fight like grapplers?
He was
or
just saying like it's
wrestlers?
not as fun as a camp. It's just like not going to be as fun as
'Cause it's
a
more of a
fight.
grind.
Kickboxing, right?
Yeah, he came from kickboxing. Well, he did win a couple 8U state tournaments, 8 and under.
All right.
Colorado state tournaments.
in wrestling.
Pretty legit.
Impressive.
Go back all the way.
Yeah.
But with that, then, if you're a wrestler, like if you're a wrestler and I'm a fighter, like a boxer, whatever,
Fighter.
puncher, leg kick,
From a calf kicker.
leg kick, calf kick, gotta go with the calf kick. Wouldn't you be like, hey, this guy can't wrestle, I'm gonna get him to the ground, and then me, I'm like, this guy can't box.
Yeah, so the
gonna
the advantage
punch
of
him.
wrestling for sure is like I can dictate where the fight's gonna happen,
Right.
Especially if you don't have good grappling. But nowadays, most people in MMA, like Dustin's a kickboxer, but his grappling's pretty good. Like he's hard to take down. That's why most people don't take him down.
Right.
But yeah, like I think being able to dictate where a fight takes place, or like if I get rocked, I could take you down and try to recover. It's a way safer place than if I get,
Right.
So that's the advantage of being a wrestler. But nowadays, like everybody's pretty good at everything. There's some guys that are not great, but most of the people
Remember
in
the
the UFC.
heyday of UFC, not the heyday, but the old school, and it was like truly style versus.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Like UFC 1.
Those
You wear
videos.
a gi out there.
Those
and other
videos
guys
are
would-
That one guy wore like
Crazy.
one boxing glove. My first time out in Denver, my wife was fighting on the card, UFC Denver in 2018, back when it was the Pepsi Center. And it was like the 25th year anniversary because the first UFC was in Denver.
Oh, really?
So they had all these guys that were on UFC 1.
Oh.
And there's one guy, his name is Art Jimerson. He had one boxing glove. That's what he was known for.
And one UFC glove and one
No,
boxing?
one bare hand and one boxing glove.
Oh.
One
It was
power.
so stupid.
Yeah,
it made no
it's like a
sense.
video
But
game.
then he has like this. He was at the event because they were like honoring all the
Right,
UFC
right.
1 guys. And he had a glove like the size of this table, and he was just wearing it around, like in the hotel lobby. I'm like, who is that guy? Who is that guy? And my buddy's like, dude, that's Art Jimerson. I'm like, dude, CTE is a real fucking
Honestly.
thing.
Yeah.
I'm the one glove guy. He's like, you want a picture? I'm like, no, I don't want a picture. Get away from me, you freak.
Yeah.
Bro, it was crazy though. UFC 1 was nuts. That's like circus freak fights. They had like
Yeah, that was
sumo
cool.
wrestlers fighting like
Yeah.
just like Tank Abbott was just like a tough
a video
man.
game.
Yeah.
Like all of our dads were like, yeah, I did some tough man competitions. Like,
Yeah.
they got to be lying. Every guy over 50. Well, I didn't have UFC in my day, but I did tough man competitions. I'm like,
yeah.
you didn't all do tough man competitions, okay?
Broom ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, broom ball. God.
Back in the, but they didn't have a commission in Michigan for a long time. Like they were one of the last states to get like real sanctioned commission, and so they used to be like, you would just go make the rules with your opponent. So like if me and you were fighting, I'd be like, you cool with like throwing elbows? You'd be like, yeah, I'm cool with the elbows. I'd be like, you cool with knees to the face? You'd be like, no, I don't really want to do that. Those would be the rules for like fighting.
Really?
Or like you would fall out of the
It's like
fight.
pickup fights.
Yeah, like say we were gonna fight and you fall out of the fight and he's in the crowd and we're like around the same size. They're like, bro, you want to fight tonight? He's like, fuck it, let's fight.
What's crazy,
Yes.
man, speaking of that, is I'd never been to a UFC fight live until Tampa.
Oh, this is the
Those
best.
are, bro, it's not quite the circus like, what you had at the carnival, But there's guys there who are drinking.
Oh yeah.
They see it, they're going, pussy, you're fucking pussy, fight. They're booing. It's like they think they could fight and they think they could be there. And now there's fights breaking out in the crowd.
Oh yeah, we saw multiple.
Bro, because, it's like we're here and Dustin's friends and family, and then the guy he's fighting, his friends and family, obviously, right? Like, you don't want to be in the same section.
UFC doesn't care. They're like, sit them next to each other.
Oh, really? Oh, it was like opposite as always.
They had those 2 girls that were like 3 rows in front and to the left. It was just 2 girls who were supporting Vitor.
But, but maybe. Then, yeah, maybe they don't give a fuck, but... I thought it was by design that they were over there. But anyways, one of the Moroccan guys who was like first or second fight, his whole family flew in from like Africa and they're watching the fight and, they're cheering him on. And then he ends up losing. And the guys, they were like super loud and annoying, like his friends and family. Oh, yeah. And I get it, but like you're there. So I was like, I don't care, whatever. The guys in the box, the suite behind us, were rooting for the other guy. And so now they're chipping, like, shut the fuck up, man. Shut the fuck up. You guys are pussy. Like, they're all chirping. He sucks. He sucks. Your brother sucks. Yeah, your brother sucks. Go back home. All this shit. And then he loses. And they're like, see, I fucking told you, pussy. Like, get the fuck out of here. Bro, they like 3 of them hop the glass into the box and they start fighting in the box. Cops come. We go out to get a beer. They're like in cuffs, arrested in the hallway.
Like, these guys did not have a good time.
No.
Yeah, fighting's crazy, man. Like I don't really like going as a spectator. UFC, going to watch a UFC event is like one of the coolest live sporting events you'll ever go to. But man, you get alcohol flowing, you get fights going, and fighting's crazy because like nobody thinks like, oh, I could be a PGA golfer.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe like some crazy people think that, but like anyone who's ever golfed is like, no fucking way, I could never do this at the highest level.
Yeah.
But 95%, if not more, of like males in the world are like, I could fucking fight.
Yeah, I could fucking fight.
I can handle myself.
If I could just train.
Kick that guy's ass.
Yeah.
No, they don't even think they need to train.
Yeah,
I'm like, what makes you? Why are you so confident you could win a fight?
Yeah.
I can handle myself. I'm like, you really can't. I used to think that growing up. Like I said, where I was from, there weren't a ton of fights. So I was like, man, if you're a grown man, you can fight, and if you have a beard, you can definitely fight. And if you get for every tattoo you have, extra points on your fighting ability. Yeah, right. These are
checking all the boxes.
These
Cody.
are my, like back in,
Boxes.
dude, 16-year-old Cody would be like, watch out, they could fuck you up. But
That
like,
was better.
So then I went to my first like kickboxing class, like cardio kickboxing, and I was like, y'all better get fucking guns, bro, because you'll get your ass beat in a fight for real.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and most people can't fight, but they just think they can. Fighting's the only sport that's like that. I don't think I can go be an NFL football player, but like you go to those shows, you're like, this ain't that hard.
Yeah.
I can fucking
Yeah.
do that. I think if you put one like regular fight, like just 2 people from the crowd, like to start the show off,
That would be funny.
That'd be
like,
awesome.
oh, now I have some interpretation of what I'm actually watching.
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
But people don't realize like those people are like, your brother sucks. Like he's
Yeah.
in the UFC, he doesn't suck.
Yeah,
like maybe he's getting his
exactly.
ass beat, but he beat
does
the
not
shit
suck.
out of
He beat the-
99% of
Yeah,
everyone
exactly.
else. But it is super volatile. Like my last fight, I'm about to walk out, and at the Apex is crazy. Like people are stupid, and someone's gonna get their fucking like a fan. It's gonna be like Malice at the Palace. Somebody's gonna get fucked up. Like I'm about to walk out, so like I'm in the zone. My whole team's in the zone. Like we're about to go kill this dude. Like that's where you got to get. Like you were saying, like we got to flip the switch of like, all right, we're about to throw down. And there's a guy like probably from like me to the TV away, and he's like, don't quit. Don't be a quitter, fight, like yelling at me, and I'm like tuning him out. And all of a sudden, I just hear Coach Mark. He's like, "Hey, shut the fuck up!" And he's on the ESPN broadcast, like yelling this. You see him, "Shut the fuck up!" And that guy's like, "He's like, you shut the fuck up." Coach is like, "This ain't the zoo, motherfucker. There's no glass. We can go beat your ass right now." Like people don't realize that. Like, what if we just jump this thing right now and beat you up? You're gonna feel real stupid. I told the UFC staff after, I'm like, bro, I'm chill. Like, I'm a chill guy. I'm not gonna do that, but. These fighters are unhinged, bro.
Yeah, they are.
And you're talking shit to them right before they're like in their most hyped up spot.
100%.
They're gonna jump this little barrier you have,
Yeah.
beat this dude's ass, and you're gonna be pissed at the fighter.
Yeah.
When really it's not his fault; it's his other
Yeah.
dude's fault.
Yeah.
Like in Denver, so I tell my family, go home, watch the fights at home with each
Yeah.
other if you want to. Don't go to like a B-dubs. Don't go to a public place.
No.
Don't even really come
No.
to my fights if they're
No.
in a big arena
100%.
because like. When I fought at
Yes.
Ball Arena,
Yeah.
it was a no contest. The dude hit me in the back of the head probably like 10, 15 times, put me unconscious, but it was back of the head, so it was illegal. And everyone's booing me like, this guy's a quitter. Why'd he quit? I was concussed. I don't remember any of it.
Yeah.
So we're walking out, and everyone's like, fuck you, flipping us off. my coach is like fighting people in the crowd. My corners are fighting people in the crowd. I don't remember any of this. Apparently, I like took my glove off, like threw it in some dude's face. Like we're like about to throw down. I get to the back. They're like, "Hey, your mother-in-law was fist fighting people, like grown men in the crowd because they were calling you a pussy." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, she's a rider." But like my whole family's there. I'm like, dude, this is such a bad situation.
Yeah,
All
bro.
my teammates are there. I'm like, there's going to be terrible fights because fighting is such an emotional thing. Like you guys know, like you have a real connection with Dustin. You know Dustin. And it makes fighting different when you know the person.
Oh, 100%. It's like, and Dustin's brother was saying that. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
That's
that
why he
guy's
don't go
a
to fights.
specimen. That guy's just like, he's built. He's like stronger than
Stone
Dustin.
Cold Steve Jacoby,
Stone
dude.
Cold.
That's what I call
Bro,
his ass.
I was like, I wouldn't fuck with you. And I could see like if someone mouthed off,
Oh, yeah.
you know, that guy.
That's what he was saying. He's like, I can't go to the fights because people will mouth
He'll fuck
off, and then
somebody
I'll
up.
fuck somebody up and get in trouble.
Yeah, because
I
I mean,
can't go.
you feel like you know what like you're the person you're rooting for, especially if you know them, like what they've gone through,
Yeah.
what they need, and then also like it's a fight, so you're like,
Yeah.
this could be not great for this person, or
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
But funny story about Darren, Dustin's twin. There's this promotion in Nebraska, MCF. It's one of those horse barn promotions, right?
Yeah.
Last card, we were cornering a buddy, Austin Jones. Me and Dustin were cornering him, and there was supposed to be a street fight like belt. It's like just a leather belt with like a rodeo belt buckle. And it was two guys that don't train. They were like, fuck it, let's get it. And one of the guys couldn't compete because his blood pressure was too high. Like the day of the fight, they
That's
had like
me.
medicals.
That's me.
And I was like, don't worry. And this guy we were calling him sideburns all night because he had like old mutton chop sideburns.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't worry, sideburns. I got somebody for you. He's like, yeah, I'll fight anybody. So I called up Dustin's brother. I'm like, bro,
No.
next time these guys have a show, you're coming out to win the street fighter belt. He's like, fuck yeah, I'm down. I'm like, dude, and this, like, you know, Darren, he's fucking jacked.
huge. He's
huge.
He's actually trained before.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, he's gonna smash this dude's head in. I'm like selling him to the promoters all night. So yeah, you guys might need to come out to Nebraska.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
Oh, it's gonna
it has-
happen.
this
The
is
street
recent.
fight belt.
Oh,
yeah.
that'd be
Well,
It's
I would
going
love
down.
to see that.
You guys got to come out.
That would be so fun.
That's one thing y'all should do. Now that you've been to a UFC event, we got to find like a regional promotion and bring you guys out to watch
Yeah.
like the difference.
Yeah.
Because like it's not as, I won't even say it's not as fun. It is almost more fun.
Yeah.
But it's
We
like,
should
it's just
sponsor it
different.
like Barstool Rough and Rowdy.
Yeah,
we
Rough
should
and Rowdy.
sponsor
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
the Nebraska Regional Barn Open.
Barn Open.
You know?
Hell yeah.
Presented by Pins and Aces. That'd be
pay-per-view
so
rights.
good.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be so
Get it on
funny.
Twitch. So has anyone ever mouthed off to you at the bar and like you've gotten to a bar fight after UFC or be like, bro?
Shit. You know, the last street fight I got in was at a regional show. And I thought that I killed the guy, so I was like, I'm not fighting anymore
Yeah.
in the street. You'd have to do some really fucked up shit to get me to fight you in the street.
Bro, it was
This guy was talking mad shit. He was a pro fighter from a rival team. And my buddy was fighting Colin. And in the middle of the fight, the guy's like sitting cage side, like, fuck you, like yelling like crazy shit. And I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, how is this guy sitting right next to the cage yelling this shit? And he was like, this is something fighters do, bro. They think that, like, well, he's like, well, I was like, shut the fuck up. He's like, if you have a problem, we can meet it. He was like a 170 pounder. He's like, let's meet at 175 and we can fight. I'm like, if I have a problem, I'm going to walk 15 feet over there. I'm going to beat your ass right now. Like, we're not going to do this cage fight. right?
yeah.
So anyway, the whole thing ends. And later that night, him and my coach were getting into it, and he like swung on my coach. But my coach was right next to my wife. So from my vantage point, I was like, did he just swing at my wife? So I picked him up, suplexed him on the concrete. And I was like, he gets up, he's like looking up, he has like a huge hematoma on his head. I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, let's get out of here. We gotta go. So we all left, and I was waiting for like 3 weeks. I'm like, the cops are gonna show up and
And
fucking
be like, this guy died.
like, hey, this guy died and it's your fault. I'm like, so I'm not fighting people in the street anymore. It would take a lot. It would take a lot. Like I've been like in places since then where people are like, you're a pussy. I'm like, yeah, man, you're right.
Yeah, you're
I'm
right.
a pussy.
It was so funny in Florida when we were going to the bar and you were like the dry humor Cody had.
Oh god,
Remember
that
the
was
guy's
classic.
like the Heimlich.
Yeah, we're all cheers
The
and cheers
Heimlich.
to the Heimlich.
Heimlich, baby.
He's like, I gotta buy Heimlich a drink.
Yeah, Cody's sitting there shaking his head.
What the guy came up to Cody? He's like, hey brother, huge fan, would love to buy you a drink. And Cody's like, free world.
It's free country.
Free country. It's a free country. He comes back with a drink.
Yeah, I'm like Dustin's very much like he has this huge group that's
Yeah.
with him, and that's cool. But it's always interesting to me. I'm like, how do you guys know this person? Like, you
Bro,
guys don't even know these guys.
the guy, the Heimlich guy,
Yeah.
perfect example, doesn't even know the guy.
Oh yeah.
And he comes up and you know, he's like, hey, congrats. And Dustin's all happy, obviously just won. And he's like, great. And so you having a little party? Like, a little, he's like, come on in. Come on in.
And then he kind of like weasels his way to the front, gets a couple whiskey shots, cheers the Heimlich. And
cheers the Heimlich. I'm like, get this guy the fuck out of here.
Bro,
I'm very much the opposite. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
You're not
you're
invited
not
to
here.
the party.
Cody was like sitting back in his chair, just like staring at the guy. Like, I know this guy is the imposter.
Yeah, you do
Get
not
him-
belong here.
Dude,
Call
get
the
him out.
Heimlich one more time, bro.
That was so funny.
That was good.
So when you go to a fight like that, afterwards, it was like at the casino, but it's like, if you go to Vegas, and in Tampa, it looked like a Vegas casino where the bar's in the middle, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the steps up. But then
The Hard Rock, right? That's
The
where
Hard
we were?
Rock.
Yeah.
But was that like pre-planned for his after party, or did just enough people come there? Because then they had security like blocking it off.
Yeah, I
They
don't think
just
it was
kinda-
pre-planned. I
they
think
just
that was
had
like
it-
one of the only places that was open, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Casino.
Let's
it was
just go
late.
there.
It was really late. What do you guys do in Vegas? Same thing, casino.
Same
with
kind
DJ?
of thing. Yeah, find a casino. I think normally DJ wants to go to Fremont, which I'm like,
Yeah.
this is a shithole. But
It is
it's
a
fun,
cheaper
man.
table.
Good people
Yeah.
watching.
Yeah, it is fun.
Freak show down there.
Yeah, it is a freak show.
Yeah.
It's Vegas is cool, man. I think Vegas is probably my favorite place to fight. When I was coming up, I was like, man, I want to go like fight overseas, and I want to do, but like fighting's so stressful that it's not even really
Yeah.
a vacation. It's like
Yeah.
if I want to go on vacation those places, I'll go on vacation. But if I want to fight, like I just want to make it easy.
Yeah.
You know, Apex is cool. I wish there were more people there, but it makes it simple for sure.
Yeah. Definitely. And it's close and
Yeah,
2-hour flight.
yeah. You won't be there.
No.
I texted the same group who went to
I'm
Tampa
sick.
with Nick. I texted the whole group, and I was like, we're running it back to Vegas, and I knew he couldn't go. And Nick texted back. He's like, you little rat fucking snake scumbag. You know I can't come.
I said I would literally kill myself if all three of you go back on this fight and I'm not going.
I think we're going. Me, Rory, Daniel, Rob.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I bet you
Getting
are.
the crew back together.
It's gonna be
Get the
good, bro.
crew.
It's gonna be
The real
it's gonna be a
crew.
great fight. I think Dustin's gonna really be able to show out in this one. I think the last one, like,
That's good.
it's more like patient, because that guy was a freak of
Yeah.
nature. But
He called that fight though when I was talking about like the leg kicks and the
he
strategy.
broke his foot, by the way. Thanks for that.
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Good tip,
First
Nick.
kick he threw broke his foot. Fucker.
Well, you know,
Made of glass.
you know, it's a small price to
Drink
pay.
whole milk.
When you execute on the strategy that I was given. But he like called the fight. He's like, "Hey, I got to be patient. He's gonna get, you know, so I'm gonna take my chance." And he's like probably third round. He called that.
He
like,
did say that.
exactly.
which was pretty crazy. Like he doesn't fight that way normally. Dustin's like all gas, and he's
Yeah.
won most of his fights that way, but it's also gotten him in some trouble. So for him
Yeah.
to be patient, especially like when the fans started booing, I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
fuck, he's gonna go nuts." All the fans are
And that
booing.
was what was shitty in the crowd because everyone was starting to boo. Me and Nick were like, well, this is kind of the game plan, blah, blah, blah.
Fuck,
Yeah.
don't explain yourself to those idiots, bro.
Nah,
They don't know
and then,
shit.
yeah, it's just pissing you off. And then
Oh, yeah.
the Moroccan guys put the flag in Nick's face. Remember you swiped
Oh,
at it? And I was
yeah.
like, oh, God, now it's about to pop
Yeah,
off.
I was.
You're like, I'll get the guys from the booth. They want round two.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, exactly.
now our group's about to fight a bunch of Moroccans for some
That's
unknown
true.
reason.
I was
Yeah.
pissed. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
pissed.
it's
at that.
whenever people come to my house and like watch fights, I'll, like my buddies, like they'll be like, "Why the fuck's he not doing this? Why is he not doing this?" I'm like, "Listen, dude, here's what we can do. We'll do a weight cut. We'll get you an amateur fight.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll put you in your underwear. You go out in front of everybody that cares about you. You go fight some, not even UFC, just some nerd that
Yeah.
also is not great at fighting.
Yeah.
And then you can come to my house. You say whatever the fuck you want because the way your brain is working right now, it's not how your brain's working when you're in there.
Yeah.
Bro. You're not
Until
thinking
you
that
do
shit.
that, keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, it's just wild, man. Like, dude, your brain. I'm not even like hating on them. I'm just like, just do it because I want you to actually see like your brain is like not the same.
Yeah. No.
All your brain's saying is like, dude, why the fuck are we doing this? Just survive. You're actively working against my only function, which is
Yeah.
to keep us alive. You're putting yourself in a shitty position right here.
How good is the rush though when you get the win and the ref calls it and you got to be like, bro, I just won that
Yeah,
fight. Like that's got to be like,
It's the thing that keeps you coming back.
yeah,
Fuck.
it comes you come back and you're like, God, I know I'm gonna win that. I got my next fight. I got to go out tonight, hang out with the boys, go to the casino. Like that's got to be just like
yeah.
a rush. And then opposite, if you lose, you're like, fuck, why did I do that? What am I doing?
When can I get in there? I gotta get a win.
Yeah.
It is an interesting thing, man. The win is one of the best feelings ever, and then just your reward is like something harder though. It's like, hey man, I gotta do this again against someone who's probably better. I remember when I won my fight in Austin, I slammed that kid and got a knockout, got the performance bonus, and I remember we were sitting there, we're like, fuck man, let's go out. It was in Austin, so it was in UT, so it was a cool place. We're like, let's go out, and then everyone's like getting ready to leave. I'm like, fuck man, I got to do this shit again in like 4 months. Like, I think I'm just going to go to bed. They're like, no, you got to come out. I'm like, fucking all right, I'll go out. But Yeah, man, it definitely like puts things in perspective. Like I used to be like when I was early in my career, I would win, but it wasn't be like a great performance, and I'd be like all pissy and like acting like a baby. And now I'm like, dude, I'll take a win, however I can get a win.
Yeah, of course.
A ugly ass win is way better than a beautiful loss.
So what's your fight? Next fight could have been May 17th. It's not now. What's on the schedule, or what do you think it'll be? Like maybe August, fall?
Yeah, I'm hoping like July, August,
and then what's kind of your roadmap? Who's the champion at 185?
Drickus.
Yeah.
Drickus.
Yeah, we were a while away from him. Bro.
Okay.
I just want to fight the worst guys for the most money.
Yeah.
For real.
I like
I'm
that.
Dude,
Yeah.
I want to fight. And I say worst guys, they're all good. It's UFC.
Yeah.
But like if it's guys that I feel confident that I'll beat, I feel really like I'll beat them. And if it's guys that I don't, I can still beat them, but it's like more 50-50.
So how can you get a title fight?
Just win a lot.
Just win a lot.
Yeah.
Just keep
Win a
winning.
lot. That's the plan.
Yeah.
That's what DJ says. Winning solves everything. I'll be
It
complaining.
does.
He's like, winning solves everything. I'm like, dude, I'm not even talking about fighting. Shut the fuck
Yeah,
up.
he says that all the time. I swear I've heard that on the golf
Winning
course.
yeah,
and
winning
shit.
solves
he does.
everything.
Winning
I'm like,
solves
dude, I'm
everything.
talking about my cable provider. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Right now. Just win, dude. I'm like, all right, man, whatever.
Just win.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah. Call for that promo price.
That's so funny.
Yeah, he's funny. Well, hey, I appreciate you coming on the pod. It's cool. Where
Yeah.
can people find you and follow you? What's
My
what's the best way?
Instagram's Cody_Brundage_. Twitter is just Cody Brundage 185. That's pretty much the only places I'm on.
Okay,
right now.
cool.
But yeah, bro, thanks for having me. It's
Yeah.
been a minute.
Yeah.
I'm glad we could get on.
Yeah.
I'll have to get on here with DJ and fucking talk shit to him.
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
that'd
should.
be
That would be fun. Or better on the golf course.
Yeah.
Okay, hell yeah,
we
I'm
should get
down.
out and play
We got to
some.
go out and play because you've been getting into more golf, right?
I play, left, right, not much down the middle.
Yeah,
but
that's
fun.
okay.
I
But you
drink
like
good.
going out there and
yeah,
drinking
it's
and
good.
having
Like
a
I
good
said,
time?
golf is something you can be bad at.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
have fun.
100%. And everyone is always like, because I'm decent at golf, and they're like, "Oh, I don't want to play with you." I'm like, "I'm so shitty." I'm like, that literally, there's not a good golfer who's like, "Oh, this guy's a hack. I don't want to play with him," because you can have fun as long as you
Yeah.
keep up pace of play. There's always something.
Yeah,
you know,
I keep
that-
up place because I'll just be like, fuck it.
Yeah,
and
I
just
pick up.
Drop a ball.
I'm gonna go have some
The
fun.
worst is
Yeah,
when
Yeah.
bad golfers
Too
take it
serious.
serious.
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
So-
then you just play worse too. Yeah. Like
Oh,
sometimes,
yeah.
like whenever, I like when there's like a full group, like of people I know. Because
Yeah.
then I'm like, oh, I suck, but that's okay. But when it's like two and then two people I don't know, I'm like, dude, this
Yeah.
guy's judging me. And then I hit way worse. I'm like, I'm not normally. You're judging me. I'm like, turn around when I'm hitting the ball.
So that's my point though. Is like they're not judging you.
Yeah.
You know, they're like I don't give a shit, man. It's fine. He's out here. He's having a good time.
Yeah.
It doesn't, unless
Yeah.
it's Rory. Then I'm like, bro, you suck. You need to get out of here.
Bro, you better beat him every hole.
Yeah.
then.
Yeah,
Go
we'll
find
see.
it.
When are we doing this? I want to be out there for that.
Yeah.
We'll probably play. We were thinking, maybe next week, a week after,
Yeah.
maybe next weekend.
Yeah.
Shit, let me know. I'm gonna go watch.
Yeah, I
you
want to
should.
watch
We
too.
can get
Should have a
the
crowd.
group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be hilarious. Let's do it.
Put some pressure.
I think I've got
Oh, yeah.
16 holes for sure. I know there's going to be 2 kind of questionable,
Yeah,
you know.
we'll see.
So, anyways,
Go to a neutral site.
Yeah,
no, Fox Hill from the tips.
home course.
Yeah.
Home course.
So, all right. Well, appreciate it, Cody. Thanks for coming
appreciate
on.
you.
Yeah,
See you,
appreciate
everybody.
Oh, you have the strangest way of loving someone, and it feels like whoever's on the floor.